Hi, I'm Catherine Goshen, a professional astrologer from the village of Nyack in New York State, and I'm passionate about in-depth astrology and getting to the heart of the matter. In this video, I want to talk about relationships. And first of all, welcome to all the new subscribers here. And why I'm speaking about relationships today is that there are so many people calling me at the moment who are in difficult situations, whether it is a relationship that they are trying to get out of and separate from, or whether it is a relationship that they are committed to but are experiencing constant conflict within. So this, of course, is an enormous topic, but astrology is so helpful when we really wish to begin to know ourselves and to understand why we keep encountering the same kinds of patterns in our relationships. Astrology says that some things are fated. For example, when we are born, there is a clock or a certain timing that is set in motion, and it is fated as to when certain things will happen in our lives. However, how we choose to deal with those events, for example, relationships, and what they have to offer us, is up to us. This is because we have a certain sense of free will, and in order to develop and to understand what free will means, we need to know ourselves, and our charts can be so helpful in understanding the patterns that we have brought forward from childhood into our adult relationships. And the more we understand these patterns, the more we can have a sense of freedom in that we see we have a choice in how we react to things. So when you think of an astrology chart, you tend to see this wheel with 12 houses, each of those houses representing a certain area of life. And I know that most of my clients and many of you out there will immediately go to the 7th house to look at your long-term or serious partnerships. Now, yes, the 7th house does describe our long-term relationships, and we want to be particularly aware of where the ruler of the 7th house is, in what condition, what aspects it makes to other planets, and so on. However, what I would like to really share today is that relationships are dependent on your entire chart. And this is because relationships are not just about how you relate to a permanent partner. When you enter into a relationship, you take the whole of your chart with you, the whole of yourself. When I do couples counseling, I don't look at a combined chart. I take two separate charts and I see how those two charts will interact with each other. Because a relationship is about two individual people. And until you have a sense of yourself and what your needs are and where you are going in this lifetime, it is very challenging to enter into a committed and rewarding relationship with someone else, because they will continually let you down, or you will continually be seeking for them to fulfill the things in you that you have not fulfilled within yourself. This brings me to a very important point, which is above all else in relationships. When you commit, you need to have a similar spiritual foundation or a similar understanding of why you are here in this life and what you hope to receive and to give to this life. That is the number one foundation for a solid relationship. After that, we need to work on communication. And this is seen by the condition of Mercury and other factors in the chart. And what you need to understand is how you express yourself, how your partner or potential partner expresses themselves, and how you are going to find a way to meet in the middle. Fiery Mercuries express one way. Mercury in water has other emotional agendas with communication. Earth sign Mercuries are different as well, and so on. Air sign Mercuries like to talk about feelings. Whatever the case, when two people get together, there are two different ways of communication that come together. And each person needs to really understand their own communication style before they can step back and have a little distance and see how another person chooses to share information. Other things we look at in the chart are the condition of Venus, how we need to socialize, and how we feel comfortable with all the Venusian things, beauty, harmony. And we also look at Mars, how we need to act, and whether we are using our Mars for purely personal gain to get on with our own agenda and get things done, or we have reached a point where we are able to give of our energy for the greater good, for something that is beyond ourselves. Now, what I find most fascinating when looking at two charts of people in relationships is their 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th houses. Because these houses show us all those important things that we learned when we were very young and that we are going to bring into a relationship with us. So the 2nd house, our values and how we value ourselves. If someone does not have a good self-worth, it is extremely difficult for them to have a healthy relationship unless they are first prepared to work on their own sense of feeling good within their life and within their own skin. So for that we look to the condition of the 2nd house, to its ruler, whether it is squared by any of the outer planets. What growth opportunity does the person have to learn? And can they enter into a relationship with somebody else once they have dealt with their self-worth concerns? If they are not working on themselves and dealing with it, they are going to project these concerns into the relationship. The 5th house is the ability to give love and to be intimate with someone, as well as all its other themes such as children and creativity and fun. Are we able to have enough self-worth so that we can be intimate and share with somebody everything that we are without having a fear of abandonment or rejection, which might stem from the early home life. So for that, we look to the ruler of the 5th house, where it's placed, and what kind of aspects it's receiving. Are there soul lessons to be learnt about giving love? The 8th house, the values of other people, or the resources and values of your partner. How does the planet that rules your 8th house relate to the planet that rules your 2nd house? Do you tend to give everything away to somebody else and then wonder why you feel depleted years down the line? We also need to look at the 11th house, opposite the 5th, the ability to give and receive love. This is the 11th house, is the ability to receive love. Is there something in you that feels you have to do everything for yourself and you are in this world on your own, and it is very hard for you to receive love? So again, for that we would look to the ruler of the 11th house and see where it is placed in the chart and what possible lessons for growth there are for that person. Now, for all the myriad of things we have to experience in this lifetime, relationships are surely one of the most challenging, because through the other, the 7th house, we see ourselves, the ascendant. And there are a few things which are very prevalent in relationship concerns. And one of these is idealism, which is seen very often in the chart through combinations of Sun, Mercury, and Venus, sometimes with Neptune coming in there too. Idealism suggests that we may project some kind of impossible to fulfill vision onto our partner. We may wish that they would be a perfect communicator, a perfect lover, a perfect provider. And generally, we expect them to be perfect in every way. And we wonder why arguments and difficulties erupt, because that idealism is a projection from our own charts onto them. And one of the best ways to work with this is to stick to the present moment when you are having discussions with somebody. Eradicate the word always. You always make me feel this way. It's really not necessary. If you are in a situation where you are having an argument, try to stay in the moment and address the concern at hand. That is a useful and practical way you can really overcome relationships concerns, because then you are standing in the center of your chart. The second part of this is that you make a commitment every evening when you go to sleep to clear the air before the next day. I think that's enough in-depth astrology for today. If you enjoyed this video and find it helpful, please like and subscribe and post your comments below. I look forward to building this channel with you, and see you next time.